Alright, so here I am again with this Turtles in Time, and as you can see it has definitely seen some better days, but you know, we got a couple of rental stickers here. I've already taken it apart and set the cartridge aside to have the contact clean, but when I pulled it apart, you see I've already just go ahead and pull the rest of that rental sticker off. But I'm going to just throw those away. Now, to start off, I'm not even going to bother with the back here because I had already told you guys I'm just going to swap it out because of this, and I'm just going to find one of those in a minute and do that, but I mean, I'm not going to bother with cleaning that up. But at the front, we really don't have a choice because we've got our label here. So, I'm just going to, like with the other ones, just get a Q-tip and start just applying it in, just let it soak for a minute. And it should actually start to work a lot quicker. Usually it does with these anyway, than it did with those stupid paper stickers. I've had it take this stuff off a lot quicker, but and yeah, it's starting to take it off. Just keep rubbing around till you get them all off. It just takes a little bit of time and patience. But or if you're one of those people who believe in Goo Gone, you can use that as well. But really, the blow dryer method isn't really going to help you with these. They're going to leave this silver crap on the cartridge one way or another if you try to pull them off. But yeah, this stuff comes off really easy. But you know, I think you get the gist of it. So I am actually going to move on. We'll actually worry about that, the rest of that later. I actually would like to try fixing this. And that is this label that is peeling up. And this is the first time I'm going to try this idea. And that is, I'm going to use some crazy glue here. And you might be thinking you're freaking nuts. And you know what? I'll be the first to admit, sometimes I'm not all there, so, but whatever, who is. I am going to give this a try and see how it works. But just very carefully, because I don't want to get too much on here. I'm going to use this toothpick here. Basically, the idea is I'm going to get super glue onto the toothpick here and apply it underneath the label, and then I'm going to hurry and use one of these Windex wipes to wipe off the excess and then hold it down, and that should hopefully keep it from peeling, stick the label back down, and also not get super glue all over the place here. So I'm gonna try carefully getting the super glue out of the tube here, not making a mess. There we go, there it comes. Alright. We got some super glue on the end here. So I'm just going to lift up our label here. Just going to apply the super glue. Make sure got it all over there. Now I'm going to Actually, I'll just throw that in the garbage. And I'll get this. Make sure we wipe up our excess. Now I'm going to hold it down. Throw that in the garbage because it's got super glue on it and it will dry and get on your fingers and cause problems. So I'm going to get a fresh one here and hold this down because this stuff takes about 30 seconds to fully bond. And then we'll see how that goes. Alright, so I think that's probably as good as it's going to get. I can kind of see how it's not fully sticking down on the edge here, but I mean it is staying down, which is much better than I can say that was before. So I mean, it seems to have worked. I don't have any residue left over from the super glue. So basically all I need to do now is I'm going to clean up the rest of this, and I'm going to clean up the contacts on the cartridge, which they're kind of dirty, and there's a little bit of corrosion there. Nothing that won't get cleaned up very easily. And find a new back off of one of my doubles for this and throw it back together, and we'll be back. Alright, I'm back and I have this all cleaned up and done. And let me go ahead and get it closer here, see if I can get it to focus. But yeah, you can see that I think that looks a lot better. I mean, it got the back replaced here, took it off one of my spares, and yeah. So I mean, I'd say this thing looks like it's in what I would call good use condition. I mean, I wouldn't say very good, but it's in good shape now. I mean, I have no problem adding this to my collection, especially since I don't have it. But yeah, let's get on to the next part, where I am going to show you how to get rid of every collector's and gamer's favorite thing on one of these cartridges. And I think you know what I mean, but be back in a second. And here it is, the favorite thing of every collector and gamer, and that's, I mean, cartridges that are dirty, stickers, whatever, those are not that big of a deal, but marker. Hate it when they write on the flipping cartridge with marker. And we got it on the front and the back here, but the way that most people will take care of these days seems to be the biggest one is magic eraser. Now I can show you. Here's what 99% isopropyl will do. I mean, with enough rubbing, it's starting to take it off. But yeah, you're going to be rubbing for a long time. Here's what rubbing alcohol will do. Much quicker, but still, as you can see, it's leaving remnants behind that are just not coming off too easily here. So let me show you what the magic eraser will do. Squeeze it out here. I mean, it's working a lot better. It's still kind of a pain in the ass. But, oh, and I was not careful, and I've damaged the label a little bit. Luckily, this is Judge Dredd, and I don't give a crap. But normally, yeah, be careful. But let's try something else here. Another trick that had been brought to my attention recently is the use of polish. And what I have here is Red Bear brass polish. Now, I was told to use Brasso, and unfortunately Brasso has changed their formula, and everybody says it sucks now, so I wasn't going to bother with trying to buy some Brasso for $8 on Amazon plus the same in shipping. So, you know, I got this for a few bucks. It's in a powder form rather than a paste. So what you do is, I'm just gonna get it on the cartridge here. And don't worry, this stuff comes up easily with some water. Alright, so we got it there. Now, one thing is, this stuff is kind of toxic, and so as a precautionary measure, I am going to use a rubber glove, because I just don't mess around with that kind of stuff these days. So get a rubber glove here, and I'm going to still use the magic eraser. So I'm going to dip it in the water here, squeeze it out, and it says, the directions say to just use a damp cloth or a cellulose sponge. Cellulose sponge? Close enough for me. And then just get it on there and start rubbing. You know, and just, maybe it's the polish, maybe I need to try a different one. I'm really not seeing much of a difference between using the polish and just using the magic eraser. So I mean, maybe there's other polishes that work better, I don't know. But yeah, so much for experimenting. But I don't know, let's give it another chance. Yeah, it's not seeming to really help any, but anyhow, it just takes some effort. But with marker, just use some magic eraser, and that should get it off. It may take some time, but yeah, that's what I would do, magic eraser. So I am just going to continue on this cartridge, get it cleaned up the rest of the way, and it will be done. Let's see, I think that pretty much covers everything that we were going to go over. The only thing I can think of that would be beneficial is for things like this, where I don't know how well this is showing up, but focus in. You might be able to see it's discolored. It's not the same color as the front of the cartridge. It's kind of a yeah, it's a completely different shade. Now, I'm sure you've all heard of Retrobrite. That is what I would do. I have never Retrobrited anything before, but I can give you a link to a channel that has, and he's had great success with it. Was able to restore an old Atari system, and it just looks beautiful by comparison. and I gotta say, just follow his technique, and you can clear up the yellowing on your SNES, you know, basically any game system that you've got, games, well, controllers, whatever. Just follow his instructions. You know, I might take it on one of these days if I have something that I care about that's yellowed that I need to take care of, or discolored or whatever. But yeah, so that's basically it for that. Now I've got a little section I want to put in here. A friend of mine has an interesting tip for getting rid of marker. Now, except for it was on the label. And when I saw this video, I was kind of taken back, and it surprised me. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just input his video here, and we'll be right back.
All right, we're gonna have a little bit of fun here. So retro gaming's starting to become pretty big. Got here Mortal Kombat, just recently picked it up for $5 at a local shop with jewel case. Only problem is we have this big permanent marker right here that is obstructing the view of the front of the cartridge. So a little trick that I learned, you know, a lot of people say, well, let's go ahead and use a magic eraser. Well, I found that magic eraser leaves a residue on everything. It also will cause a lot of problems. Like if you rub too long in the same area, it'll tear apart the label that you have on it. So a trick that I learned a long time ago was one of these. It's a dry erase marker. So what we do, as you can see here, I'm going to do it in this yellow area so you can see it the best. We'll go ahead, let's just start coloring it. This dry erase marker, just lightly. Okay, you can see that right there. Now, I'm going to take this napkin here, and I'm just going to wipe that away. And look at that. Just a couple more times, we should be able to get it completely, you know, taken off, and it'll look great when we're done. There you go.
Hey, welcome back everybody. As you can see, I finished cleaning up Judge Dredd here, and yeah, I'm gonna show you something here real quick that I wanted to mention. And you see on the bottom here, this fading, that was from me not paying attention, and that was caused by the magic eraser. And that was barely any contact. I mean, if I'd gone straight on this, it would have rubbed it off in no time. But yeah, so just a reminder, be careful. Now, talking about labels, and this is something I should have mentioned in the one where I was removing sticker residue. If you are dealing with cartridges such as, say, Atari 2600, 5200, 7800, ColecoVision, Intellivision, Jaguar, I mean, whatever. Even Nintendo 64, where you're dealing with the less glossy, more paper-like labels, you got to be very careful with those. Even the slightest pressure using some isopropyl or that paint thinner will take the color right out of those real fast. And a magic eraser, blow through those like butter. So you got to be very careful. Now these ones like SNES, NES, your Genesis games, stuff like that with these glossier labels hold up a lot better. So I just want you to keep that in mind when you're cleaning these, and just as a precautionary measure. But anyhow, so I just wanted to show everyone really quick here. I've finished cleaning through all those games I got in that Super Nintendo lot, and I mean, they look a lot better. I mean, if you can remember from the video what they looked like, they had stickers and dirt and crap all over them. I mean, there's some yellowing left from some of these, but I mean, there's really not anything I can do about that I care to do. I mean, I could retro bright, but I mean that's just a lot of work for games that I'm planning on selling or keeping as you know, spares. And you know, except for the two here, which is Super Ghouls and Ghosts and Turtles in Time, which look as good as they're going to. So I don't really see any point in doing anything further with those, but you know, we've got, and these are all looking really nice compared to what they looked like before. Yeah, just wanted to show you this. There's the back of the other Turtles and of what was on Turtles in Time. But all right, everybody. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much my cleaning up your cartridges video. You know, I've got Super Metroid here, and one thing I thought I should show you real quick, and that is this. I don't know if I can. Yeah, you can see that. But right there, it's a couple little nicks on the label in the black area. And so I've got one little trick that I'm going to use to fix that. And I mean, I'm sure this might seem obvious to some, but I'm just going to get a Sharpie here. Just, there we go. That's what I would do for nicks and labels, at least if the nick is in a black part. But I mean, as you can see, the gold part there, I've got some nicks. If I, you know, had a gold marker, I would give that a try, but I don't. But, you know, maybe we should go over now how I clean discs. Now, let me go ahead and grab the latest disc game that I got, and that was Super Street Fighter Collection here. Now, if you open it up and pull out the disc, it isn't bad. I mean, it's got some fingerprints and some smudges on them that will never show up on camera, but yeah, so the first thing that I do, now, First off, let me say, if I pull out a game and I look at it and it doesn't look like it needs to be touched, don't touch it. In fact, I recommend don't touch these unless you think you absolutely have to. There's no reason to touch these unless absolutely necessary. Sort of like, it's the same principle I have with my camera lenses. Don't touch them unless you have to. It's just, you're just adding in an opportunity to scratch them. But anyhow, the first thing I do is I'll blow it off with air to get any, you know, major debris off that can contribute to potential scratching. Now the next thing I do is I get a nice microfiber cloth. Do not use a paper towel. Do not use a regular old dishcloth. Don't microfiber. You got to use something like microfiber, or it will absolutely leave scratches. But then I'm gonna just get the disc here, and then what I do is I just use my breath. Now I know what you're thinking. I said don't blow on cartridge contacts. Don't blow on cartridge contacts. This is fine because you're wiping it right off, and the steam from your breath will do very well to gently clean off the fingerprints and smudges that are on this disc. So basically, I'm just going to breathe on it here and wipe outward from the center. Do not work in a circular motion. When you see scratches on a disc, the ones that are the worst are the ones that are radial. The ones that are circular on the disc are the worst type. So keep that in mind. Do not buff around. Just wipe straight out from the center and do it gently. Do not apply a ton of pressure. Otherwise, even this will probably scratch it. So that's how I clean the disc-based games, and that's really all I have for this video. So yeah, if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them down below. As usual, like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for tuning in, guys. I want to thank everybody for watching these videos, for subscribing, and we will see you with the next video.